Traders! Stop gambling on your smartphones and pay attention to the investment opportunities on the bigger picture. Bitcoin is sitting at one of the most important levels of this entire cycle. Sentiment is low, fear is seeping back in, and everyone is asking the same question. Is this the start of something bearish? Or the setup before the next major expansion? Because while most traders are confused right now, I'm currently developing 3 trades. One is active, one is adjusting, and one could start at any moment. It could get into play. So I'm not guessing, I am evaluating structure. And what I'm seeing on the higher time frames doesn't match the fear that you're seeing on all the social platforms. Let me show you. Let's go! So in today's video, I'm going to get into why Bitcoin is at the $60,000 level and why that's not random. What the monthly and weekly structure are signaling, and why momentum is shifting on the lower time frames, and how the current trades align with this setup. Okay, and I'll explain exactly what I'm waiting for and how I'm planning to trade it. If you appreciate this structured analysis, make sure that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. It's very easy to do. You just go to the description over here and you see this button that says subscribe. You just click on it and now you're subscribed. How cool is that? And do me a favor, let's try to get 30 likes, all right? That helps out the channel. And let me know how you feel about the market. Let me know if you're bullish or bearish. Let me know in the description or in the comments, because I like to check those out. All right, so before we get into the charts, we have to talk about Trump, because he's saying something right now. President Donald Trump is considering wiping out the entire $35 trillion U.S. national debt using Bitcoin. Let's hear what he has to say, folks.
I think it's good. Who knows? Maybe we'll pay off our $35 trillion, hand him a little crypto check, right? We'll hand him a little Bitcoin and wipe out our 35.
You heard it right from him, folks. Whether that's literal policy or strategic positioning, the fact that Bitcoin is even part of that conversation at the government level is pretty big. Then we have this. We have Tom Lee going live on CNBC saying that the Bitcoin bottom is in and calling for a great buying opportunity. Let's take a listen.
I'm going to say something that sounds a little contrarian, but Tom DeMark is our advisor at BitMine in terms of crypto. He's been since mid-November saying Bitcoin would go to 77 and Ethereum at 2,400. So he's been waiting for what he calls time and price to align.
Okay, we heard enough there, Tom. So the most interesting part of this is he mentioned Tom DeMark. If you don't know who that is, you should look it up. That's very interesting. Otherwise, this is great news to hear, but this guy always says stuff like that. Frank N., you have anything to add to this? No. Have you made up with him? I know you're having a little problem with him. No, me still no like. All right, well, you're going to have to fix that. I'm a dial. Yeah. Anyway, so let's move on. And from there we have, this guy, Jim Cramer. Okay. Yeah. He said that on CNBC that he believes that the U.S. government bought Bitcoin at 60K. Let's take a quick listen, and then I'll give you my little 2 cents on this.
Do you think that the president is going to fill the Bitcoin reserve?
I don't know. That will
Well, that's
be
what I
a
heard at
big
60.
deal.
I heard at 60 he's going to fill the Bitcoin reserve. You better cover. This is the level.
Meantime, whether it's Bitcoin, strategy, even Palantir.
Yeah, okay. So, just so you know, like this guy, there's a newsletter out that exists that actually takes the opposite of his suggestions. Just have to mention that. But anyway, it's good that this is being publicly put all over the place. If that's even partially true, it means accumulation could be happening at the highest level, while retail is still questioning whether we're bearish. So the point is, things are going on underneath the surface that you really should be paying attention to, and don't get caught up in all the nonsense, right? So this is not normal market noise anymore. It feels like positioning before a bigger move. Now let's get into the monthly levels here. Bitcoin is sitting at one of the most important levels of this entire cycle, like I mentioned earlier, and you can see we have a basic wave count here on this chart. On this monthly chart, we are maintaining a massive support around that $60,000 level, and this is not a random number. This is the exact zone where Bitcoin consolidated through 2024 and 2025 before making a major bullish expansion. Now, here's what makes this interesting. Yes, Bitcoin broke the long-term trend line that had been supporting price since early 2023. That break is significant, but instead of breaking dramatically, price found support exactly at the 60K to 70K region. That tells us something. On top of that, the RSI, which I'm not a great fan of, but it's still showing signs of a potential bullish crossover. Momentum is slowing on the bearish side. So for those of you that follow that, it's worth paying attention to. Even if Bitcoin wants to continue bearish, statistically speaking, markets usually don't retest broken trend lines. Markets usually retest broken trend lines. So a retest higher before continuation is very likely, and that gives us an objective at around 80K. Now, let's move along here. Okay, so actually I want to give you a couple of scenarios, right? Scenario 1, price taps into the order block and holds, and then from there we see a strong reaction higher, okay? Scenario 2, price breaks below the 60K and then grabs liquidity, potentially pushing toward 40K, and then reacts. I mean, that's a possibility, right? Remember, below 60K, there's massive liquidity. Stop losses are stacked there, and the market knows that. So if we see a break, it could be a liquidity grab before we see a structural, it could be a liquidity grab rather than a real structural break. So you have to keep that in mind and keep your contrarian hats on. Now, before I get into the next time frame, I just want to let you know, all my trades are tracked transparently on the Profits Precision platform. Every entry, every exit, everything. All updates are also on live in my Telegram channel. You could just get there from the links in the description. There's a link right here that takes you to the Telegram channel. YouTube is for where we go over the details, right? But the Telegram channel is where you get all this specific trade information. And if you're too lazy to click on that link, you can click on this QR code here, scan the QR code, and that will take you straight to the Telegram channel. All right, so let's move on to the Bitcoin 12-hour, shall we? Now, this 12-hour time frame, 2 bullish order blocks we marked earlier have failed to push price higher. That changes the probabilities. This is very important. I wrote an article just the other day where I had 80-20. Now it's 20-80. So you have to make sure you know this change. Previously, we had that. Now, it's flipped. Now, the thing is, when you're not respecting bullish order blocks, usually that leads to a continuation lower. So the probability now favors a move further into the weekly bullish order block, right? So that's short-term bearish. From there, the real reaction can begin. Now, let's move along here and let's talk a little bit about Ethereum. So Ethereum broke its short-term trend line and is currently creating bearish pressure. I re-entered the trade but reduced my position size to 0.5% risk. Why? Because I'm short on Solana and it wouldn't make sense to overexpose myself on the same side, right? It's basically the same. Risk management always comes first. Now, speaking of that, let's take a quick look at the Solana setup. Right, so my first entry was at the 87.90 area. Price, the second entry on retrace is around that same level, almost precisely there. Now, I am fully positioned with 1% risk, right? And the price objective is 79.08. Structure looks clean and momentum favors continuation. As long as structure continues to be intact, I stay in. Now, let's move on to AVNT, because this is another setup that we've been working with. Yes, supply pushed lower, but it's still maintaining support at the yellow line. As long as we don't see a strong bearish engulfing candle, structure continues to be bullish. This trade is not dependent on the Bitcoin move. It's not following Bitcoin or Ethereum. It's reacting to its own structure. Sometimes markets are much less correlated, and that's one of these situations. Now, quick update on the trade challenge, okay? So if you guys don't know, I'm running this trade challenge, the $100,000, the $10,000 to $100,000 trade challenge. You can see that right here, okay? All the risk is controlled, right? All the trades are planned and everything is shared live inside the Telegram channel, right? So you guys know that. Also, all the trades are taken on the WeX platform. And the performance is tracked on the Profits Precision. So WeX is good because it has great spreads, it has great tools and all that other stuff. And Profits Precision is great because you see all the details, no cherry picking, no hidden losses, just the real trades. All right, now let's move along here and let's just kind of recap this real quick. So Bitcoin is sitting at the major 60K monthly support, right? The weekly time frame, as we talked about, is testing a major decision zone. The 12-hour probabilities has shifted to bearish short term. You want to make sure you are very aware of that. The Solana trade, right? The trade is fully active now. We have the main position. Ethereum is at a decision level. You want to pay attention to that. And AVNT still manages to hold support, and we're waiting for further confirmation. This market is not random right now, right? You want to be aware of that. And you want to make sure you pay attention to these levels. It's compressing, and the compression often leads to expansion. The only question is which way. So people, listen carefully. When Bitcoin is sitting at levels like this, moves don't give you a second chance if you miss the move. So if you're not inside the Telegram channel, you're going to see the trade after it plays out. The Telegram is where I share the live entries, the real-time updates, and every single adjustment and the trade challenge updates. So make sure you're in there. Just scan the QR code, right? Because it's still free. And if you don't want to do that, you simply go here and you can see the link in the description, okay? All the links are there. So make sure you check that out. It's very simple. It's very easy. And if you're serious about the markets, you know what? You'll be in there, okay? So all the links are in the description. Make sure you stay patient, stay calm, and I will see you in the next one.